Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to MusicTown Detroit City. We're live on Facebook. We're the Rob and Holly Show. Happy Halloween. Runaway June is in the house.
Halloween. And we got two cameras. Camera one, camera two.
You guys are the lucky charm. Facebook Live literally never works for us. Our team tries to get us to do it all the time. It never works.
Well, we don't know if it's actually working right now, so don't.
I want to make sure.
It is Halloween.
Yeah, don't speak so soon.
issues too, but yeah, hopefully we are Facebook Live.
Well, first off, I would just like to apologize for not being dressed up because Holly and I had
You
this.
should apologize, Rob. Very disappointed.
Well, I normally would dress up. I just posted like 10 photos of me of the last 10 years of Halloween. I feel like I had some really awesome costumes. And then Holly's like, it's a concert. People don't dress up for concerts. We're not going to do that.
And I did, and I made
couldn't
this.
have been more wrong.
Could like just pull, like maybe you could be like Granger Smith.
I think you look like Chase Rice.
I
Chase
think everyone
Rice
should
right
look
now.
at your picture last year and tell us if you're Elvis or John Party.
Okay, yeah, we need to.
I
It's
can post.
posted.
I can post that one too.
Okay.
But does this count though? Someone did dress up as me
One of our promo people.
for Halloween.
Oh, that's amazing.
He sent a picture, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the best thing." Because they call him like Mini Rob Stone all the time.
Have you?
You know who you could be just right now?
Who's that?
Dirk Bentley.
Okay.
That because
I'll
you didn't
take-
shave.
Get a little more scruff going. I like that. I like Dirk's.
Okay, just for anyone that's just listening though, we should describe your. Each of you can describe your costumes.
Yes, let's describe what you are wearing right now.
They're not
to those who
watching.
are not watching on Facebook Live, who are in radio land. So we'll.
Face.
This is Hannah. I'm a very spooky witch.
Very
And
spooky.
what's cool about Hannah's outfit is she made it herself. She literally like hand stitched.
You
did?
That's very good.
I didn't know that.
I really like Halloween. I take it very seriously, so this is the best I could do.
You
on
made the
road,
little
but-
cloak.
I was gonna
I made
ask
a
if you
little
got it on
cloak.
Etsy because it is really,
I did
really
get
well
my
made.
hat.
It's really cute.
My hat is a very serious witch's hat. I did this. This is like a handmade hat from Spain that I got on Etsy. That I was like, okay, I'm gonna splurge on the hat and then I'll make the rest.
I'm impressed.
Isn't it
I'm
amazing?
impressed.
I know,
I'm very
she
impressed.
Did a great
Did a
job.
really good
All
job.
right, let's describe your costume.
This is Jennifer, and I am 70s Cher.
I like it.
And what's really sad about this costume is it's all my own clothes, except the wig.
That's not sad for the wallet, honey. I tell you.
See, if I would have known in advance, I could have dressed up as Sunny.
Oh yeah.
But Rob is so upset right now. He's trying to hide it. He's like, I knew I should have dressed up.
It's
know.
so true because he does really love to dress
I
up.
take Halloween seriously too. So
Hey,
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
let anyone rob your joy. You
Yeah.
Well-
just get right in there. You should have been Dolly Parton this year.
You would have
It
loved
is
that.
her year. Oh, I was Dolly Parton for my air band. Like, I have no musical talent. So in my school, when you have no musical talent, you do air band. So it's just lip syncing.
Okay. Oh,
And
yeah,
we
yes.
did Dolly Parton 9 to 5, and we
That's
won.
amazing.
It was
I
great. I wore my mom's bra because she's.
You should be Carrie. You should be Carrie tonight.
hair?
You have the hair.
I can do it. I can try.
Yeah, you should totally do it.
And my son, when so we saw like promos on TV for the tickets for tonight's show like a while ago, and my son's like, "Mommy, that's you." And when he saw Carrie, I was like, "Yes, that's right.
Yes,
That's
is.
me." Like,
Your mom is a superstar.
I was like, "He's the best child."
All right, one more description.
Oh, this is Naomi. I am like a sugar skull Day of the Dead kind of like Mexican thing happening.
All right.
Right? Is that
I
a
like
good
it.
description?
Dia de
I
los
like it.
Muertos Sugar Skull.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about because do you know anything about the Day of the Dead? I mean, you're dressing up like a sugar skull, but do you know anything about it? It's crazy.
It is okay, you obviously know more than I do.
I
but
just
I'm
went
gonna
down a
take
rabbit
stab
hole
at
of the
this.
internet recently. That's the only reason why.
Isn't it? It's a celebration for the dead, but not in a morbid way. It's really
Yes.
is like a celebration for ancestors and people and loved ones that are
And you
able to
try to
come
lure
through
them
on
to
this
come
day and influence the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it goes from now until November 2nd.
And so they praise and worship their ancestors so that they don't do anything bad to
And
them.
they leave them little tamales so they're not hungry.
Yes.
They
So
do.
and it's so crazy because it's like
Are you-
apparently this time you can talk to the dead. Have you guys ever
Like the
experienced
veil,
anything like that?
Supposedly
Hannah
the veil
has.
is thin on this
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
Really?
I have too. Yeah.
Don't be
Paranormal.
shy.
Okay,
I want to hear this
we
because
love ghost stories.
we've
You
been
do?
really talking about this. Holly, I don't know if you want to share your information.
It's a
yet.
lot. It's a lot.
Do you have good ones too?
So recently, my son's been like saying some stuff that is.
Once you
Wow.
have kids, everything's oh god.
and it's that
They see
age where
stuff.
I'm like, oh, shit.
So it's like
What did he
creepy.
see? What did he say?
It's a long.
he saw he
You can-
he keeps seeing a man in the window. He said.
That
but
was
there's
one of the ones.
There's
Of your house,
no
in
actual
your
person
house?
there, so
I
he's
know.
maybe seeing
We think
maybe
he's seeing a
maybe
ghost.
some relatives that are coming by to visit.
He sees
right?
a guy named Brother John, who's
God.
not his friend, but he's a nice person, and he took a drink and he rested.
That's what Brother John told
took
him.
a drink
Yeah,
and then
and-
rested.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
How old is your son? Your son's like 5, right?
Two and a
Two?
half. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
it's like
gosh.
this like weird window, but like you said.
But also,
ever make that up?
exactly.
I know you guys met him the last time that you were
Yes.
here,
Yeah.
and you met his and now apparently he talks to
precious.
ghosts, so it's kind of crazy.
Wow, I
but
have a
what's
lot
your
to talk
experience? Like,
Oh my gosh. Well, I have a lot. I feel like once you're kind of like open to it, like I think about like if I was a ghost trying to relay a message, I'm not going to go to like some person that's like going to be like, "Oh, it was the wind." I'm like, "No, I'm telling you something." So you'd go to someone that already believes.
Right.
Yes.
Right? You know,
Yes.
so I think that once you're open to it, and maybe that's why like kids
'Cause they
see
have
more 'cause they're
nothing.
open.
Yes.
They're not skeptics.
Yes.
Daddies too. So I have had like a lot of weird experiences. One time when I was a kid, I was like 6, similar kind of experience, but I saw a man standing in my hallway when I was a kid, and we lived in a mobile home, so it was long and skinny. And at this point, I had like no like knowledge of ghosts. Really, I mean, you're so young. It's like I
Right.
just didn't even know to be scared of ghosts yet. And I thought it was my stepdad, and I like looked in the hall, and I was like, you know, Josh, like, what are you doing? Because I like woke up, and he was just looking into my room, and I was like, what are you doing? And he just kept staring at me, and I just kept calling to him. I was like, Josh, like, come in, like, what are you doing, you know? And then I just saw him, and he looked at me, and then he kind of like looked like he was trying to hide, and then he looked one more time, and then went back into the wall.
what?
And I literally
You
yes.
saw him go into the wall.
Yes, like literally, it was like he
disappear.
kind of like peeked. I remember vividly. It was like a checking, a hiding, a check once more, and then disappear.
Oh my god.
And then I realized I was like, oh my god! To confirm it's not my stepdad, I have to run through this hallway to the other
Yes.
end of this mobile home to like.
God, you're so brave.
You know, and I
Brave.
was so scared.
Yes.
But then of course I ran in, and my stepdad's like dead asleep, and he slept on my floor for like 2 weeks because I was like, if you're in here, I know you're not out there.
Right.
So I
'Cause
made him
that's
All right.
scary.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
I want to play the opposite side of this a little bit because I do.
Are you a skeptic?
I want no. Well, I guess you have to. Be a
No,
little,
he's not.
I
You're not
believe
really.
a lot, but I
yeah.
also want to say like, okay, on the other point of it, do you also think maybe you were so young, you're only 6 years old, that there's something maybe you saw, and then something that now later in life that your memory comes back and it could have just been a dream or something like that? Or you're 100% convinced that this was really happened?
Well, couple thoughts on that. One, my brother ended up seeing the same figure in the same place like
Okay,
a
there
few
you
months
go.
later.
There's some proof.
So that's interesting. But the
That's
figure did
compelling.
something different. The figure was watching over me, kind of just curious, and the figure was very threatening to my brother, who was kind of like my protector. And so I thought there was a little bit of this kind of ego, kind of like I'm the man of the house vibe from this ghost. So he went and he was like threatening toward my brother, and actually entered his room and walked all the way up to his bunk bed and kind of like showed him like I can come in here kind of. So he had an experience kind of with
Yeah,
the
the
same
heebie-jeebies.
figure. Yeah. But I also think that ghosts are a little bit like subjective. It's kind of like depends what you believe what they are. So I think it's more of like an energy that could affect either your subconscious or while you're sleeping. I think dreams, like sometimes things come to you in a dream. My mom had her mom who had passed away come to her in a dream a week after she passed, telling her things that my mom wouldn't have known otherwise, like things to relay to her to her brothers and sisters. So I think that even if you are sleeping, these things can still maybe like influence you.
This is
Sleeping,
wild. That's wild.
sleeping might make more sense too, because when you're talking about like putting down your defenses or
susceptible,
whatever,
yeah.
like, and I mean, your wife Katie had some stuff too.
Yeah, her mom's side of the family, they all have dreams. It's most of the time of like when bad things are happening though, and I feel like it is some sort of psychic ability
Or women's intuition.
And
yeah,
she.
people's intuition is a lot stronger than we
Well,
are.
I mean, there's some
'Cause
crazy
we're a
stories
better
about
species.
one of her relatives had a dream about her husband dying in a car crash, and he did. So there's to that extreme, and then there's also to her. Like she woke up in the middle of the night one time and was like so distraught because she said she thought something was happening to our niece. And so she's like, I feel like I should call my sister right now, but it was like 3 a.m. She goes, no, whatever, it's fine. The next day she found out that they were on the way to the hospital in an ambulance because she was having a seizure.
Wow.
So-
Connected.
So there's
But
all
So you
that.
have to like.
Wow.
And you said you had something happen too.
Well, yeah, actually, like a few months ago, this is super, super creepy. My mom was taking my nephew. My mom likes to my mom's like an herbalist, and so she
Okay.
goes into the woods and she gets like roots and herbs and she tinctures them and whatever. So she took my nephew with her, and they were probably trespassing past where they should have been going, but they came up on this old house in the woods. It was kind of like covered, and And they were kind of walking around. My mom was like, "Ooh, this is neat. You know, it's an old house." And
Like
my-
Hansel and Gretel or something.
Yeah.
seriously. And my nephew is 7,
Uh-huh.
and he walked around the back of the house. My mom was kind of like looking for herbs, and he came back running around and said, "Mom, Granny, there's a lady in the house sweeping the floor. She's telling me to come in."
Just like Hansel and Gretel.
And my mom was like, "No, there's not. There's not." And he was like convinced that this old woman wanted him to come into the house, and he was like,
my
"We can
God.
go in."
She's
She
gonna
was
cook
like,
them in the
"No,
oven.
we
Like-
can't." She's like, "She's sweeping."
She's like, "I'm
and telling me to
hungry."
come in.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
my
so
mom, was like,
creepy.
my mom said she just got like the hair on her neck just stood up. She was like, "This is a very weird place." But this
Right.
is just a few months ago.
That's so crazy.
Man, I
Yeah.
feel like we should have planned this out a little better. Had a medium come in, and then we all come
my
in.
God.
We had,
Well,
no,
okay,
we had
well,
no idea that this is
Let's
next
just
time.
say we have all 3 of us been to a psych.
We
the
have a
same
psychic.
psychic
Yeah, we have a band psychic.
that we've been to, and then we went to another psychic together in Philadelphia, and that was a real experience. We are all about it. Bring in the medium.
Yeah.
The psychic's a lot different than a medium, right? So what
Well,
types?
we went to
I
a
don't know if
medium.
it's
the
Medium?
kinds of powers that they have. So some people
We
are
went to
psychic
medium and a
mediums.
psychic.
Yeah, so some people can connect with the other side, and then some can just tell your future. It just
Okay.
depends. But
So
ours
what,
was a psychic medium.
what is the band psychic telling you guys? Can you?
The band psychic.
Yeah.
Another
Oh, I
number
do
one.
not have
We
an
went
effect of
individually.
that.
Yeah, we
such-
all went individually, but to the same.
And then one time we went to another lady who was a medium. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, and
Yeah,
we went
that
together,
was
which I
crazy.
think was a little more confusing because there was a lot of energy in the room, and so it was like kind of bouncing around a little bit. So
Yeah.
it wasn't as accurate as when we went
Because-
separately.
Okay, so Jennifer's grandfather came through on my reading.
And
Which
your
was
dog
weird.
came through on my reading, remember? And she was like, I'm getting a lab. I'm like, lady, I do not have a lab.
have a lab.
I don't have a
Is
lab.
there a lab? Has anyone had a lab?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
I think the crazy thing about all that though is our morning show just had a medium on, and they were having listeners call in, and this lady was talking to them over the phone and telling them things. And I just thought, how wild is that to be able to talk to someone over the phone and still receive, messages or whatever like that. Like it just,
Yeah.
The
part of
other
me
side
wants,
has no boundaries.
part of me wants to go, she's just,
Obviously, they walk through walls.
Right, they walk
Right.
through walls. They're like, phone lines, I got this.
I mean, we're the only creatures that perceive time to be linear. It's really not, So because of our perception, like someone in Texas is far away, but I think in the spiritual realm or whatever it is, like even when you're tapping into your intuition, you might have a family member across the world, but at night you meet in a dream, or you just have this feeling that they might be in trouble or that they're happy. But like, I think that type of thing transcends space and time and like distance. So it's something we're not really tapped into anymore. I do think at one point in time the human race was, though, which is why we have those instincts for each other.
I think we just started a very successful podcast because we could talk about this all day long. What's that movie? It's the Alien movie, and it's about time not being linear.
Interstellar.
No.
Which is
but
on
that's
my
a
list
great-
of things
that
to
is
watch.
a-
That gets us not really
That's not alien.
aliens.
Yeah.
That is a
What
great
alien
one too,
movie?
though.
The one
Oh, what is it called? I think I have it. Hold on.
Contact.
No, I
If
think I have it
someone
on
is
here.
watching
good.
on Facebook Live and you can post what
You
movie
can keep
it
the
is,
conversation
and someone
going.
tell us- Is
No,
it
it's
18?
not.
Yeah. This
love
new
E.T.
movie.
I think I have it on my. Where is this? On my iTunes somewhere. Talk amongst yourselves.
We're
Step
just
seriously.
please
I'm gonna-
talk
no, I
amongst
have to.
yourselves.
Okay, while you're looking for that, let's talk about all the
Okay.
new music because I love.
okay.
You're like, oh
Oh,
man.
I want to talk about witches.
I know, but I just want to make sure that we talk about it because
Thank you.
congratulations
You're
on
sweet.
all your successes.
Thank you
'cause
so
that's
much.
Awesome. And then
you.
the new song is Head Over Heels. Do you guys want to
Yes,
talk about that? Because it's
ma'am.
another
Yeah.
like woman empowering song.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love those.
That's kind of the theme of this record. Was a lot of us kind of talking about things that we had been through. A lot of kind of digging up real stories from us. So that is a big theme in the record. It's just kind of like the things that we've overcome, and not preaching to anyone, just really talking about our own experiences, which has been really fun to see a lot of people connecting with it.
But they're so relatable.
Thank
I
you.
listen to them like, what girl has not like experienced all of that and
Yeah.
all these songs? Like from
Yeah.
Buy My Own
And
Drinks.
guys.
Like you're like, yeah. I guess guys
Yeah.
too.
I
I,
mean,
forget
I'm-
about
yeah.
that.
Girls
sometimes.
play
I
around
have
Yes,
friends,
yes.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
friends that are guy friends that like couldn't shake this girl for months, and then was kind of like, oh my god, I'm being played. This is going nowhere. Like my heart's getting wrapped up. It's the same thing.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I found it.
Rob's like, it happens
What is
to
it?
everybody.
Come on, Rob.
Arrival.
Arrival.
Have you seen this?
Oh yes.
No.
Yes.
It's really good. It's
with Amy Adams. Yes. This was this
Right.
is when I was talking about Contact, but it's not.
but it's
Arrival
it really
so
I
good.
feel like it really gets your mind going about talking about how time is not
Yes.
linear and that type of thing. It's pretty wild. So everyone watching, if you want
This
to,
is the
Yes.
deepest
That
Facebook
is
Live
such
we've ever
a-
done.
That movie, the twist
Like,
at
let's
the
just
end is
go there,
so
you know?
crazy.
I'm fine with it
Yeah.
if you're
I
okay.
thought that was such a great movie.
I saw the preview for that and I downloaded it and watched it one night just like on my phone because I was like, I can't wait to watch this. I'm really into. We can go off on aliens. For
I'm
a
in
while
aliens.
Too.
I'll get in the
We'll do
alien
a
ship with you
podcast. We'll
right
start a
now.
podcast.
Would
Okay.
you guys?
Yeah.
Should we
gonna-
wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean,
we
yes.
talked about music. I mean, we should probably talk about the tour too, because this is the last night.
This is the last.
This is it. Are you
night.
sad?
Yeah, it's bittersweet. We're also kind of like, we've been doing this all year, even outside of the Carrie tour. We've been on the road. We've been in Canada. We've been to Europe. We've been like everywhere. So it is bittersweet. We're ready to kind of get off the road for a second and see our families. And it's the holiday
Go home.
season. But the tour has
doggies
been
to pet.
unreal.
I think it's pretty sweet
been
that
so
it seems
great.
like a lot of artists finished their tours in Detroit. Luke Bryan was just here
Yeah.
last week on the last show of his tour, threw a big party, and you guys and Carrie are going to do it tonight. And so I heard that there's going to be some tricks and some treats.
Because it's Halloween. It's a
There
trick or
could be-
treat.
It could be a tricksy
Also,
night.
there's like a common theme on tours where people prank each other on the last shows.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're just wondering if Carrie is going to prank us.
We're on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
Are you willing to prank Carrie, or is it like, oh, we can't prank
Oh, we're
Carrie Underwood?
willing.
It's Carrie
Oh, we're
Underwood.
ready.
Oh, no. Carrie has a great
Can't
sense of
tell
humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has an excellent sense of humor, and so
We're
I
kinda
think that she
pranksters
We
would
would
anyway,
never
so
do
thanks.
that. Ever.
We would definitely prank
Says
Carrie.
bad
Be
Jennifer.
sure not to watch the whole show
Don't
just
you
in
dare.
case.
Okay, so
We're
I think you
definitely
can get a hint of what's supposed to happen tonight. There's going to be
Okay.
some pranks and some fun stuff going on. So
If you didn't get to the show too, you can follow you guys on Instagram because I'm sure it'll be like an
Yeah.
Insta story or whatever.
Yes.
and
Okay.
right after the show,
Yes.
I want to invite everyone
Oh,
out to
dear.
Coyote Joe's because we're having a huge Halloween party. We're giving away like
Are you
$500 for
really?
the
Yeah.
for the best costume and things like that.
You guys have
Sounds
played at Coyote
really
Joe's
fun.
before.
Yeah, we have.
So
We
so yeah,
have.
I will have my costume on there.
What
Okay,
are you gonna be?
what are you gonna
Whisper
be?
it.
I don't know
What are
yet.
you
I
gonna
well.
what out of your closet are you?
I might try to do something different because this year the only thing that I had so far is because we just had a baby. We have a 6-month-old boy.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Oh.
And my wife was like, I've always wanted to cuddle a baby tiger. I've never got to cuddle a baby tiger. So she bought him a little baby tiger
Stop.
thing. And I dressed up as a Detroit Tigers baseball player, and she dressed up as like one
I
of the
love
cheerleaders, and
that.
we had a whole
That's
little
so cute.
family thing. So
Yeah.
I may just throw the Tigers uniform
baseball.
on, or I might, go into the basement closet of Halloween stuff that I have and throw something together. So we'll
Well, it
see.
has to be good because the manager Greg he
Yeah.
will make because last year the year before I went as the Rosie the Riveter
Oh,
and he was
cute,
like
yeah.
what are you? I go I'm Rosie the
How
Riveter.
do you not know that?
And I was like
Clearly, you are not a
Yeah.
feminist. You know
So
what's
it's
the
gotta be-
Halloween costume I saw online that I think's hilarious?
Huh.
It's like a new one this year. It's like inflatable. And it's called Alien Abduction. And there's an inflatable alien on your back, and then your legs are the alien legs, and then there's like little flailing human legs. So the more you run, the more it looks like you're
Yeah.
struggling from this alien. And it's so funny looking.
Those are
It's
pretty
so
good.
cute.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you're sticking around town, Coyote Joe's after the
Oh,
show.
why didn't I see that?
so good.
Oh God.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to
Thank
start this
you.
brand new podcast with us, and
Good job. Yeah, I'm really excited about this podcast.
it's going to be huge. Runaway June, everybody, on
Yay.
Love
WYCD.
you guys. Thanks for having us.